Hello everyone, something different for the channel today. This is a flight I took in this wonderful Bücker Jungmann aircraft which you see before you, this twin-seat biplane which is owned by Barnstormers of Landshut. The aircraft was built pre-war and was renovated or rebuilt in Poland, and that is why it has the Austrian markings, because it apparently cannot be registered in Germany. That's a view of the inline 4 engine which the Polish added to this aircraft, replacing the original Hertha engine. I had two cameras with me for this flight, an SLR which turned out to not work very well. It's just too big to wield around in this tiny little cockpit, and actually most of the footage comes from my mobile phone, which seemed to work a lot better despite it having rather low frame rate and not great resolution. So enjoy the video, and I'll put some commentary over the top at a few important places. The sound was not great. It was recorded just through the microphones on the devices I had with me. Takeoff here caught me by surprise, which is why I missed the first part. The roll was very, very short and we got airborne in no time at all. One of those aircraft which just seems to leap into the sky at very short notice. We had cloud for the first third of the journey at about 400 meters, so we just had to sit right underneath it. And on top of the engine cowling here is an interesting little metal rod, which I will discuss in a few seconds. Here are some of the instruments on the forward cockpit, which still has some of the Polish instrumentation. The rear cockpit is much more modern. There's a bit of a view of the footwell here for anyone who's interested in that, or my shoes and my skinny hairy legs. Up on top of the engine cowling then is this strange instrument which I think, I'm not certain, is a fuel gauge. It looks like a metal rod which is attached to some kind of float which sits on top of the fuel tank, and it bobs around with the airplane, so it really only tells you if you've got lots of fuel, not much fuel, or hardly any fuel at all. There's a tiny little convex mirror just on the starboard side which actually gave an incredibly good view behind and into the first pilot or captain cockpit. Here we are flying over the Donau River, or the Danube. This is just east of the city of Regensburg, which is our first kind of waypoint on this flight. And this is the city of Regensburg itself. This footage looks really weird to me. It actually resembles some of the post-World War I footage that I've seen that's been colorized, those biplane aircraft that were deployed at the time. Here we are flying at about 400 meters, just below the cloud base, and you can see there's a wind turbine over there. Those turbines can be up to the 300 meter mark, so 300 above the airfield altitude we took off from. So there's quite a limited clearance between those wind turbines and the cloud. We were making very, very sure to keep a good look out in front so we didn't fly towards one of those. This is the town of Beilngries in the Altmühltal, where we made our turn to the south and back towards home. And this is the Hallertau region, where it is apparently the densest area of hop growing in the entire world. You can see all the dark hop fields directly below the aircraft. Here's our base turn then back in towards Landshut-Ellemühle airfield. The audio here is different. I've got the microphone up out of the cockpit in the breeze, so it's a bit scratchy. Unfortunately, I just missed the end of the touchdown because I ran out of space on my device. I'm kicking myself for that. To finish off then, here's a little walk around of the aircraft after we finish the flight. You can hear the autofocus on my SLR camera here constantly adjusting. If I do this kind of thing again, I definitely will not use the SLR. Here's the main or captain's cockpit. You can see the instrumentation's a lot more modern. And there's the forward cockpit, which I'm calling the student cockpit, and that's a much more basic layout. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'll leave a little link to the route we took in the description to this video. I'll also leave a link to the Landshut Barnstormers website. If you're ever in this part of the world and you fancy a flight in one of these aircraft, look them up and send me a message as well, and maybe we'll go and have a beer just afterwards.